俺キルア。俺はゴン。
Killua and Gon have quite an admirable relationship, one that revolves around encouragement and fun, but also a complex one that at times can seem dependent and unhealthy. Killua and Gon do care about each other immensely, and I want to take a look at the factors in play that unite such an iconic friendship. The duo that was raised so differently, yet end up the best of friends. We will look at both Gon and Killua's upbringing, their motivations, them as people, and finally the evolution of their relationship. To begin, I will start with the main protagonist, Gon Freecss. Gon was born to an unknown mother, and his father stands as one of the top 5 hunters in the world, Mr. Jing Freecss. Gon was born on Whale Island, where he was raised by his pure-hearted Aunt Mito. As Jing left him to pursue his hunter dreams when Gon was a child, Gon grew up on the island without his father. Most of Gon's spare time was spent in the forests of Whale Island. Because of this, Gon would develop tremendous instincts and physical strength. In addition, Gon would grow up without any friends as well. His childhood was spent in the trees, befriending animals. And so early on, Gon's biggest motivation is explicitly stated. It is to find his father. Gon wants to become a hunter and understand why his father left him to continue on this path. This motivates him to enter the hunter exam. Killua Zoldyck, on the other hand, was the prized son of the well-known Zoldyck family. Born alongside his other siblings, Illumi, Miluki, Kaluto, and Aluka, the cat-eyed boy was groomed to be the prized assassin and heir to the family business. Zoldyck children are molded at birth to develop a multitude of skills to become high-level assassins, training that begins as early as 3 years old. Understanding the cold-heartedness and level of cruelty in that line of work, Killua, who is now 12, does not have any friends or acquaintances, and has become tired of killing. Son of Kikyo and Silva, because of his natural talent, Killua was treated with an unhealthy amount of pressure and protection and attention from his mother and other siblings, which becomes one of the reasons why he attacks her and later leaves home to enter the hunter exam. The first meeting between Gon and Killua happens in the first stage of the hunter exam, as they are both the same age and are the youngest applicant there. In their early interactions, we see Gon's driven personality contrasted against Killua's apathetic nature, as his reason for applying was that it was supposed to be difficult and he was bored. Like Killua telling Gon to leave Leorio behind, but Gon ignoring Killua and grabbing Leorio's bag that he had dropped. This quickly introduces Gon's affinity for helping the people that he considers as good or helpful. We also learn that while Gon is driven, Killua has not yet found what he desires. Over the course of the hunter exam, Gon and Killua spend all of their time that they can together, whether it be pillow fights, helping each other complete the stages, or chasing Chairman Netero around. These two are always shown together and learning about each other. Moving to the end of the hunter exam, after Gon gets injured in his match against Hanzo, Killua asks Hanzo why he didn't make Gon surrender using his superior skills. Hanzo replies that he expects his victims to despise him when he tortures them. He tells Killua that Gon's eyes did not show any hint of hostility or malice towards Hanzo, and this foreshadows the day that Gon's eyes will show an individual hatred, and how those eyes will change. As Gon completely lacked malice towards Hanzo even after their brutal match, this was a quality that Killua began to admire about Gon, which then leads us to Killua verbalizing his first desire in this world, what he wants to do. And after all the time he had spent with Gon, the first person of his age that he could acquaint himself with, that wasn't a butler or a family member, Killua would say this:
I want to be friends with Gon. Just have fun.
It is important to keep in mind that this is Killua's first friend. While up to this point, Gon had never declared them as friends, it is not far-fetched to assume that through Killua's background as an assassin, he expects a sort of contract or a verbal statement by Gon that they are indeed friends. and this affirmation that Killua desires will be a theme that reappears over the course of their relationship. After Killua for the first time in his life states his own desire, his brother Illumi responds by saying that Gon's personality is very radiant, and this is true. Gon has a very blunt and curious nature to him, in the way he looks at the world and in the way he operates in his everyday life, which attracts people. Gon wears his emotions on his sleeve, and an assumption can be made that Killua wishes to be a little bit more like Gon, to absorb some of that light that Gon has, and to be able to feel like Gon does. The radiance and theme of light and dark surrounding Killua and Gon will show up later as well. Moving forward, as Killua verbalized his want for a friend, Gon would prove his echoed desire for that friendship through his actions. After the final phase of the Hunter exam, Killua was sent home by Illumi after failing the exam, and so Gon, alongside Leorio and Kurapika, journeyed to Kukuru Mountain, the home of the Zoldyck family, in order to retrieve their friend. At the Zoldyck home, the trio would have to face the monstrous dog Mike and build up the strength to move a gate that requires 4 tons of force to open. The three of them, led by Gon's tenacity, reiterate that they are not leaving without Killua, and they will do whatever it takes to get him. For them, this would mean undergoing weight training for 2 weeks to open it, and after they open it, they are met by Canary, one of the Zoldyck family butlers who will not let them pass. And after Gon spends the day getting beat up, Canary admires his resolve and lets him go. For the final test, they play a coin game with the head butler, Goto, which Gon wins, allowing them to finally see Killua. Again, this shows off Gon's desire to have Killua by his side. As we reach the Heavens Arena arc, their roles in their friendship have become a little more defined. Killua has emerged himself as the more knowledgeable and level-headed one, and Gon is the leader. Killua is constantly watching Gon's back and making sure that he is in the right places to achieve his goals. At the Heavens Arena, Gon's goal is to fight Hisoka and return the tag, so Gon has to get stronger. And while doing so, Killua teaches Gon about the many things in the arena and many things about fighting that he does not know, allowing Gon's curiosity to thrive. He is shown many times lecturing his friend and taking care of him, like when Gon breaks his arm. Killua is the one looking after him. And before his match against Hisoka, Killua is the one buying tickets to scout him, playing into the idea that Killua always has Gon in mind. And moreover, when Zushi was captured, Killua ensures that Gon's matches are in line with his promise with Wing. And like any natural friendship, Gon's nature begins to rub off on the white-haired Zoldyck, as Killua would state that an honest living is tough and how not killing people is hard, even when people break promises. And by the end of the Heavens Arena arc, Killua would begin to learn how to live a more honest life. After the Heavens Arena arc, Gon and Killua return to Whale Island, and there are 2 scenes that are noteworthy, which elevate their friendship. The first being when Gon shows Aunt Mito his hunter's license and she begins bending it. The shot starts to focus on Killua's face, and he seems almost in awe of how a somewhat more normal family should be operating, and how a mother and child are supposed to interact. And the second scene is when they are discussing their next plans, and Killua would say this line.
I was just thinking I admire you. Huh? There's nothing I want to do. You've got your thing. I don't have anything.
And this is a callback to Killua's consistent theme of finding what it is he wants to do in this world. Killua admires the fact that Gon has ambitions and aspirations, or as he calls it, his thing. And calling back to Killua's verbal request for being Gon's friend, Gon replies by saying,
Killua, huh? It's fun. Hanging out with you, I mean. Hey, where did that come from?
It is at this moment that we understand that though their family dynamics in childhood have been completely different, they are both incredibly similar when it comes to friendship. And they're so new to this idea which is why Killua is always shown embarrassed when Gon says things like,
When we're together, you have fun, right? Huh? I guess so. Yeah. I do too, so I think we should stick together.
Gon says these words with such sincerity. It's two kids who are maneuvering their way through their very first friendship and who would maneuver the outside world together for the first time. Gon then sums up their new journey when he says,
俺は親父をキルアはやりたいことを探す旅
Killua seemed to be deep in thought, as if looking to their future. Killua appeared to be emotional at the idea that he was finally being appreciated for something other than killing. He was finally being seen as Killua the friend, rather than Killua the Zoldyck, the prodigy, the assassin. Killua seemed to be happy that his presence was finally wanted, and that he would finally find something that he desired to do, rather than what was forced upon him. Now Killua and Gon's roles are completely defined and realized. Gon, the leader, who makes decisions for the long run, while Killua maps out what they will be doing to achieve this goal. As shown later in the Greed Island arc, Killua would refer to his friend as the leader. With their time spent at Whale Island, Killua would receive an abundance of love and healthy care, shown by Mito and Gon alike, again elevating their relationship. And as they would discover the message left by Jing and Greed Island, this would propel them towards the Phantom Troop and back with Kurapika and Leorio in York New City. Following the capture of Killua and Gon by the troop member Franklin makes an interesting observation about Gon and his similarities to their fallen friend Uvogin. He states that they are both stronger when fighting for someone, and if we fast forward to later in that episode, during this interaction, this again reestablishes the roles in their relationship and again restates it later when they leave. Gon is strongest when he can be reckless, but always knows that Killua will be looking after him. However, this can create growing doubt in the relationship long term. Questions such as, will Gon always be reckless, and if this is selfish that he throws his life away without considering the repercussions? And this foreshadows events in the Chimera Ant arc relating to Gon and throwing his life away. Also during the Phantom Troop arc, Gon begins to understand that some people have their own personal motivations for doing things, and that there is not a universal idea for good or evil, as displayed when he questions Chrollo. He also introduces the theme of being a monster as he questions Nobunaga about empathy. Again, all ideas that will be explored further by Gon himself. And the duo being captured 2 times and held as hostage seems to harden them. And for Killua, it makes him that much more cunning in tense situations. In these moments, Gon and Killua have been through a lot, and it would only make their friendship that much stronger heading into the Greed Island arc. As they head into Greed Island, Gon once again thanks Killua for being by his side, and Killua would reply saying the following.
Gon, 俺なんだ。俺の方こそお前に会えて本当によかった。
And the two boys always seem to be so grateful for each other, and this reassurance that they provide really sets it apart from other friendships. This may be because of their youth, but it is very refreshing to see. And not only from the friendship perspective, in their training, the duo continually push each other when it comes to their nen and developing their strength. As the two continue their growth, Greed Island also displays that they bicker and disagree like best friends would do, but they also trust each other like best friends. Most notably during the dodgeball match against Razor, Gon was at a point where he was trying to win the game, and he would use his nen ability, Jajanken, to fire the ball at Razor. Gon needed Killua and Killua alone to hold the ball for him, and he says it because
スケでも密かでも多分俺思い切り打てない。何も考えずボールに集中して全力をぶつけることができるのは
キルアがボールを持っていてくれるからなんだ。
This is a full demonstration of the trust and strength of their friendship. Gon and Killua's friendship had evolved to the point where Gon already knew the damage it was going to do on his hands, but that shows how far they are willing to go for each other. He also knew that Killua wouldn't want it any other way, and Gon can only trust him for that reason. He knew that Killua wouldn't complain, and Killua would sustain this incredible damage on his hands for Gon. This would be Gon reassuring his best friend of his worth in their friendship. And Gon repeats this action one more time after beating Greed Island. Bisky asks him what he plans to do after he meets Jing. And the first thing he says is that he will introduce him to Killua as his very first thought, his best friend in the world. Gon's first thought wasn't to ask his father where he had been all this time or why he had left or if it was worth it, but to introduce Jing to Killua, his best friend. While the duo had been through a lot up to this point, it would pale in comparison as they entered the Neo-Green Life, or the NGL, to combat the growing threat of the Chimera Ants. It is at the beginning of this arc where the two boys meet an old friend of Gon's father, and an old friend of Gon's, Kite.